In this video, I'm going to show a demo on the usage of Inistate Core from scratch. Similar to the last video, the scenario we applied is issue management, but instead of start from an existing SQLite database, in this video, we are going to show if we want to start record something and work on something from scratch, how are we going to do. Now, let me walk you through the full steps. So for the configuration part, you may refer to the last video. So I'm going to start from the prompt of connect Inistate Core and create module for issue management. So same goes to what it did in the last video. The Inistate Core will try to find if there is any existing workspace first, and if there is no, the reason is it won't let the user to have the duplicate workspace. And if it found that the workspace is not existing yet, it will start creating one. And in the configuration mode, it will call on design the workspace from scratch. As you can see, this is the Codex design workflow. Codex plus Inistate Core design workflow. A common workflow of issue management. The next thing I would like to do is create issue tickets. I'll try to make Codex as my teammate. I try to ask him to identify existing issue in a application and record the issue ticket in the module. So the application we will use is the same with the one we demoed in our last video, the spending application. Identify existing issues that I may not even notice. Create the entries. So we should expect the Codex will create multiple entries if there are multiple issues found in the application. So let's see how it works. So as you can see, there are few issues are already shown and found by the Codex. Now it tries to create entries. What it did is, instead of directly creating entries without knowing what to fill up, the Codex actually call Inistate Core tool, the get form, to identify what are the fields that need to be filled up, and after knowing the field need to be filled up, the information needed, it fill up and perform submit activity. Now the activity is submitted with the information provided. And it actually performed a bulk submission. Submitted 4 items in once, as you can see. Okay, the submit activity is done. There are 4 entries were created. Now we try to simulate in issue management scenario as an IT support what we will perform next. So as in the real case, maybe when there are multiple issues, we will identify which are more highest priority and which we can focus on first. So maybe we can ask the AI teammate, the Codex, to sort the issues by priority and the effort to fix. So there are 4 issues listed, and the effort and priority, they are sorted by the priority and the effort needed. Okay, so we ask the Codex to proceed with the first priority first. Confirm the first issue and proceed. Right after the prompt, what Codex did is it get the form and submit the activity of triage. It confirmed the issue, change the state to triage, and proceed to the next available action, which is start work, but it faces an issue that is when you're trying to assign end user to the issue ticket. But instead of direct change the state from triage to in progress, which is invalid, it proceed with the fixing first and retry the submit, and after it fails again, it escalate to us as a human teammate. It say that it couldn't find a user assignee to assign to, so the state is remain in triage. So what can we tell him to do next is to assign to Codex, because Codex is the teammate, and proceed and see what it's gonna do. With the assignee provided, the Codex is able to move to the next step. It called the start work again, and this time the submit activity is success. Change the state from triage to in progress, and it say that since previously, remember, the Codex already fixed the issue, so since the implementation is already applied, it proceed to resolve the entry. It get the form, submit again, and change the state to resolve. So now the app is ready, the issue is resolved. As the first issue is a local storage issue, and I was unable to show and verify the fixing by Codex in the application, I decided to move to the next highest priority issue, which is IM003. Please IM003. The Codex retrieved the entry of issue. The issue basically saying that a weakness of the application where delete an item, remove the record immediately without confirmation, and the steps to reproduce is provided. We try to reproduce. For example, we key in the value, we save the petrol record. Now we simulate the scenario of deleting it. Now no confirmation before delete, we cannot get the record back. So this is a weakness of the application identified by the Codex. We proceed to the first, confirm the issue, assign to Codex, and fix it. Codex start the fixing by confirm the issue first, triage the issue, and start work activity by assign to Codex as per request. Then it proceed to in progress, proceed to the fixing. After the issue is fixed, it call the activity resolve issue to update the step to resolved. Now I will verify the issue fixing. I try to reproduce the scenario by mistakenly delete, and so you can see there's a confirmation. There's a confirmation when I delete something, I can undo. So this is a verified fixing. I go to Codex, confirm the fixing, close the issue. The issue is finally fixed and closed. Before we end this video, I know you're curious, how is the Inistate Core manage the data when we don't provide an existing SQLite database like we have provided in our last video? In fact, when we don't provide any supported files type like CSV, Excel, Airtable, or SQLite, the Inistate Core will store and manage the data in a DB called core.db. We may check on this core.db. For example, the module. The module is created under the table of modules, and those entries are created under the table of entries with the column of module to specify which module is the entry come from. For example, this one, these 4 items are from the issue management module that we create in this video. And we have a version column to control the versioning of the record, so everything is traceable. The whole industry is moving toward implementing AI into their diary workflows, but AI alone could be dangerous. Just like a wild horse, it may move fast, but it can go in wrong direction. In a workflow, that means AI may update the wrong data, skip required step, and move the record in an unexpected way. That is why a harness is needed, and that is where the Inistate Core comes in. But why Inistate Core? Because Inistate Core gives AI a controlled way to work with our data. First, it's easy to start. In this demo, we did not begin with a prepared database. Everything starts from scratch, and no complicated configuration is needed. We can use the simple command or the configuration in our MCP application to start using Inistate Core. Secondly, it's local first. The workflow runs on your own machine. The data stay on storage you control. In the demo, we could directly inspect the local database and see the modules and issue entries created by the workflow. This is important for internal workflow, private, record, and business operations where data control matters. Thirdly, Inistate Core keeps AI control through type forms and allowed transitions. Codex did not directly change the database. Before creating or updating an issue, it had to get the form, understand the required type fields, fill in the information, and submit the correct activity. Only then could the record move to the next valid step. This means AI is not given unlimited access to the workflow. It's given a control path to follow. Fourth, Inistate Core is lightweight for agents. The agent does not need to log a different tool for every module, every table, or every workflow actions. Instead, it only sees a small fixed set of generic tools. For example, list the module, get the form, submit activity, and retrieve the entry when needed. Even we add more workflows later, the agent's tool list does not keep growing. The module name becomes a parameter, not a new tool. That keeps the context smaller, reduces the tool confusion, and makes the workflow easier for the agent to operate. Lastly, Inistate Core is friendly to small or local LLMs. Because the engine handles the workflow rules, the model has a smaller and clearer job. It only needs to choose from the available activities, fill in the type fields, and retry when runtime returns an error. That means the workflow does not always need a strongest cloud model to operate. It can also be driven by smaller or locally hosted models. And when we pair Inistate Core local storage with a local LLM, the whole workflow can become fully local and private. No cloud model is required, no API cost is required, and the workflow data does not need to leave the machine. So, for teams that care about privacy, internal record, and control local execution, this is a very important advantage. To sum up, the value of Inistate Core is not just storing data. The real value is it gives AI a workflow harness. In this demo, AI helps us create issues, trash them, fix them, and close them. But every step still follows the structure we define. Local storage, type form, allowed transition, and lightweight context. That is how local workflow data become agent operable. With Inistate Core, we can assign operational tasks to AI agents with more confidence. AI still moves fast, but now it moves with harness and confidence. Thanks for watching.